Hey guys, it's Dr. Nikosi Darnell, aka Techie SLP, and I'm excited to share with you a great resource for helping children with their reading skills and improving their fluency, their word recognition, decoding, as well as their reading comprehension. It's called EPIC, and that's with an exclamation mark. It's just a fabulous resource that's been around for a while. It is free for a 30-day trial for parents to use. And if you decide to purchase it, it's a $7.99 purchase, so $7.99 per month to utilize it. But it's really a fabulous resource, and I think it's well worth it because they have such a plethora of resources available. For educators, it's free. So you as a teacher can access this course for free for your classroom. And what I like about it is that it's very rich in the amount of material that it has. There are over like 60,000, I believe, books available for students. And what I like about it, it's appropriate for diverse learners. So whether your child or student can read or not at this point does not matter. They have many of these books audio recorded, so the books will be read to the student. And then they also have audiobooks in addition to that. And for those students who are able to read, they can read it on their own. But it's great for a number and a variety of different learners. Also, as a teacher, they allow for you to track the progress of your students with their readings, the amount of reading that they've done, and what level. You can also provide them with quizzes for each book. And so that's also a great way to look at their comprehension skills. And also they help teachers with lesson plans. So there are a lot of lesson plans that have already been created by teachers in conjunction with the EPIC staff. And so it's just a fabulous resource that's very diverse in its ability to meet the needs of differing learners. So you're going to see me, I'm going to toggle back and forth actually. I'm going to give you a demonstration of the teacher view as well as the student view. So I've brought up my iPad here and you can see, Dr. Darnell, this is me. I have one student right now. He's not read a book or spent any time reading, right? So you see all of this at your fingertips, right? And so here though, you can look at the different sections. I have like my students here, and the activities, quizzes, and assignments section. So under students, I told you I just have one student available here. It's a guest student. I've added him, but you can easily add more students by just clicking on this button with the add student section. And then if you want, you can add a roster of students if you already have that information on a spreadsheet, or just import it through Google Classroom so you're not having to have too much redundancy of work and adding the students one by one. And so, if we look further, I can also assign different activities. For instance, so here, I have like a couple of, you can see what activities actually that my student has completed. So he watched a little bit of a video on the cheeky monkey, and he also read this book on Read Goodnight Construction Site. And so you can see, what your students have been doing. You can see how much time they've actually spent on this specific activity. Also, you are able to assign quizzes. Now, when you publish a quiz, it goes to the EPIC community, and so they're able to access the quiz as well, but you can also access other quizzes, so you're not necessarily having to repeat that work. And so you look at, like, say, for instance, the number of students who've actually taken the quiz. And I've already had 10 students take the quiz, but you can also look at the average scores, like say 67% accuracy, and then it gives you the date that it was created just for your own personal knowledge, and so you'll be able to recall that. And then you're also able to assign specific kids, like if you want to assign just one student a certain book to read with a quiz, you can do that. Or if you want to assign a group of students with a specific book and quiz, you're also able to do that. But the other great part about it is that students are also able to go and read books that they want to. So I know a lot of times teachers and parents will tell them, okay, I want you to read, for 30 minutes each day, when you go home. Well, how can you track that? Well, this is a wonderful way that you can do it because it gives you very objective measures to be able to see whether or not the student has spent time reading. So then, for instance, if we go to the Explore section, you'll see there's a multitude of books that you can choose from. So, they might give you some suggestions based on prior preferences. You can keep on going down and you have like popular series, top picks, things like that. You have picks for Read to Me. And so it's just, and then you also have nonfiction and videos and so on. And so it gives you just a lot of resources to use. And I can't remember, but I think this honestly is one of like the largest digital libraries, period. So they have quite a few resources. You can favorite books that you've read in the past or that you would like to keep on practicing or like to assign your students to keep on practicing. If they have a diagnosis such as dyslexia, this is also a great resource because you're able to go through and work with them on their reading skills and let them practice their reading skills and take some of the cognitive load off of themselves during the reading so that they're able to go through and answer the questions, and you're really looking at their reading comprehension at that point. You can see here's the video section. So these are true videos that will play the story for them while reading, like while highlighting the words. And then there are audiobooks as well that they can just listen to. So let's just take a look in one of these. Let's look at the audiobooks. So you can see here it has like, the description of it. And then at the bottom, it will give you similar books. And what I like about it is that it categorizes things based on, like, say, for instance, how old are they? So for this book, the age range that would be the most appropriate would be 3 to 6. It tells you the length of it, and it'll tell you what grade level this reading resource or book is on. Now, let's take a look. So you can also go here and look at the book details. And so you can see, other people have rated the book. So they gave it 4 out of 5 stars. And then it'll give you more specifics as well. Okay. And then if you want, you can, like I said, you can create a quiz. So you can go in here as the teacher, and then you can add your title for the quiz as well as your questions. And when you publish it, it shares it. You can check whether or not you want to share it with the EPIC community or if you want to keep it private. So it's just your personal preference on that one. And for students who prefer a darker screen, you can always switch it over to a darker screen if they have some type of sensory difficulties or differences. Okay, so let's back out of here. And now I'm actually going to give you a quick look at the student view. So within the student view, you can see like here, I've like created this classroom. You can see my guest student. And I actually gave the student a class code, right? And so that's just underneath your page. Let me show you again. So here you can see right here is the code at the top, SVR 6469. And so the student has that code, so they're able to access the classroom as a result. And so they can go through, and the screen looks very similar in that they can read, different books. They can select what they want, like if they want to look at the Scaredy Monster, and there's a series of it. So then you see down here, it has the Read to Me button, and so you can select those books. And let's get started. So you just click play.
Scaredy Monster loses a tooth. Meet Scaredy Monster.
And so you see how it highlights the words, which is really helpful for students who are experiencing difficulty reading and learning how to read, or just students who are learning how to read in general. Okay, and so that's a wonderful resource for students to use. Now you can see up in the upper right corner, there is a mailbox. Well, I as the teacher gave my student an assignment. And so the assignment was for them to take the quiz, right, for Kitty Dragon, which was a book I wanted them to read earlier. So it's going to show up as new, and then they have to go through and they have to answer the questions that I've created related to this specific test, okay? And it was based on Kitty and Dragon. So they have to go through and listen to the story, and at the end of the story, there will be the quiz for them to take. Okay, so I just want to share with you like just a brief discussion on how this is such a great resource. I love Epic. It's free for educators, and it's a great resource for students, for instance, who might have dyslexia, some type of learning difference, reading comprehension difficulties, language comprehension problems. We see a lot of that in speech language therapy. And so just try it out, do a little trial and see if it works for you. Okay, take care.